it's Michelle, and welcome back to the Royal Daily Tea. So you guys, I have a huge announcement for those who aren't aware. On Friday, I have a guest star. Kenzie Schofield is going to be joining me on a YouTube Live. Now, she is one of the top royal commentators, a royal expert, and she's going to be live taking your questions. So I know this is a very interesting time. There's a lot of royal news happening, so make sure you mark your calendars and bring your questions, and we hope to see you on Friday for our live. Now, all this information is going to be listed in my community post, but you guys, we have a lot of royalty to get through today, so you know what to do. Sit back and relax, grab yourself a beverage, and let's get into the Royal Daily Tea. So what in the holy hypocrisy is going on with Harry and Meghan? Now, as I mentioned in my previous video, that March was the 3-year anniversary of Megxit, where Harry and Meghan boarded that freedom flight and fled the tyranny of the evil royal family on a quest to find privacy and financial freedom. Then in March of 2021, literally yesterday, was the 2-year anniversary of the infamous Oprah Winfrey interview where Harry and Meghan accused the royal family of being racist to little baby Archie and denied him his birthright to get the title of prince solely based on his skin color. Now, we all know that wasn't true. That was not why Archie was denied the prince title. He wasn't eligible to get the prince title at that time, as his great-grandmother was the sovereign and he was too far removed from the crown to get that title. Well, now that Prince Charles has ascended the throne 6 months ago, Harry and Meghan's children do have a birthright of inheriting the prince and princess title. But it is a little interesting how Harry and Meghan decided that they want their children to have royal titles, that they want their children to have all the pomp and the circumstance that they were avoiding. This is very hypocritical, especially from Meghan Markle, who said titles don't mean anything to her. She doesn't care about the pomp and circumstance, yet they were fighting tooth and nail to get their children special allowances when they weren't eligible for titles and crying over paid security. So now the news has come out that Meghan and Harry have christened their 21-month-old daughter, Lilibet Diana. She is now Princess Lilibet Diana, and Archie is now Prince Archie Harrison. Now, we know that the godfather, Tyler Perry, flew out last weekend, and he brought with him a gospel choir that is said to have played 2 songs that were played during Harry and Meghan's wedding. They performed "Oh Happy Day" and "This Little Light of Mine," because of course everything has to revert back to Harry and Meghan. Now, Lilibet was baptized by an Anglican bishop by the name of John Taylor. Now, the event was attended by 20 to 30 guests, including her mother, Doria Ragland. So according to a spokesperson for the Sussexes, they decided to invoke their right and the birthright of their daughter to refer to her as princess now that her grandfather, King Charles, has ascended the throne 6 months ago. So now Archie and Lilibet are entitled to be known as a prince or princess, since now their grandfather is the monarch. Now, this is very weird and ironic to a lot of people, including the Sugars, as to why Harry and Meghan would want to invoke royal titles on their children, especially since they have been thumbing their nose and slamming the royal family for 3 years. They escaped the monarchy on a freedom flight. They talked about their victimhood, how they were mistreated, and even accused them of racism, yet they're going to name their children with a prince and princess title. Like I've said before, Harry and Meghan never wanted to leave the royal family. They wanted to leave responsibility and the work, but they most certainly did not want to leave the money, the pomp, the circumstance, the titles, and the privilege, and the money. They wanted people to pay for their lifestyle for free. Harry and Meghan, when they sat on Oprah, sat there and cried how his father cut him off financially and wouldn't pay for his security. Again, he is a boy in the bubble of privilege. He is a spoiled prince who has been a royal his entire life and doesn't understand that people actually have to pay their own way. He wanted the taxpayers to provide security. He felt that was his birthright. Even though he is no longer representing the crown, he is not a working royal. He is in exile. He moved to a different country. He has monetized his victimhood and wokehood and sent hand grenades against his family. And now he's claiming the birthright of his children to have royal titles in a land that doesn't have titles. His daughter was born in America. She is an American citizen, and now she is Princess Lilibet Diana. Does anyone find that strange? Now, I believe, and as I said in my previous video, Harry and Meghan desperately, and I mean desperately, are trying to get back into the royal fold because they know without that connection to the royal family and their royal titles, they are absolutely nothing. That's right. So all this time they've been sitting here playing the victims. They've been doing their narcissistic mind games. At the end of the day, they're trying to get back into the royal fold. Now, I think Frogmore Cottage has a lot to play into this. I think they were really shocked that King Charles took that away from them because that royal residence is needed for them to stay close to the crown, to stay relevant, to stay as a counselor of state, for his tax purposes, his visa purposes. There's a lot of things that are tied to Frogmore Cottage. Now, he was offered a chance to live at Buckingham Palace in an apartment as kind of an olive branch by his father. Now, we all know that King Charles desperately wants his son at his coronation and all of his grandchildren to be around him. I don't think they care one way or the other about Meghan, but blood is thicker than water, and they certainly want Harry there. So in my opinion, they're definitely going to the coronation. I believe this was a nod to the family to say, hey, we want to come back, y'all. Don't turn the lights off. Don't change the locks. We're coming. We're coming back to the royal fold. Because again, as I've mentioned timeless times on this channel, they need to start backtracking and working their way back into the royal fold. This is why I believe Harry started denying that he called them racist when he sat there with Tom Bradby and said, oh, we didn't say it. It was the press. We never called them racist. Nope, we never said it. Even though we all know they both heavily implied racism, now they're backtracking because they're trying to get back into the royal good graces. I 100% believe they're going to the coronation. Absolutely no way they're going to have this christening and call their daughter princess and then not go to the actual christening of her grandfather who's going to become king officially. That makes her a princess. That wouldn't make any sense to not go to that event. And they most certainly want to have pictures of Archie and Lilibet with King Charles. So they are 100% going to this coronation. Now they're probably going to have to stay at that place at Buckingham Palace because again, they're not staying at Frogmore Cottage. This is very interesting though, like I said, how they're so hypocritical, but now they're desperately clawing their way back. Now, according to one of their mouthpieces, Omid Scooby-Doo, they did invite members of the royal family to attend the event, which would be King Charles, Queen Camilla, Catherine, and William, but of course they politely declined. Now, we don't know when exactly they were invited or how they were invited. People need to understand the king can't just hop on a plane for a weekend getaway to go hang out at your backyard barbecue in Montecito. It's a lot of things that go when the king travels for security. It's a big deal. It's not like Tyler Perry just jumping on his jet. And the funny thing is, Shouty Shola was sitting there saying she can't believe the royal family snubbed little Lilibet. It's like, ma'am, get a life. Do you not know anything about the king and the royal family and the massive amount of security that gets involved with them traveling to different countries? He's not Tyler Perry. He's a little bit higher and more important than Tyler Perry. I just find it funny that she's over here crying about this little baby girl who she's probably never met. I'm sure she's fine. But again, how much notice did the royal family actually get? Were they really invited, or are they just trying to make themselves look good and play the victim card once again? Now, we all know that Harry and Meghan are narcissists and massive manipulators. I mean, when they named their daughter Lilibet Diana, they knew this was going to piss off the family. When they told the Queen they were naming their daughter after her, she assumed Elizabeth because that's her name. When they came out with Lilibet Diana, it was like they were taking, of course, his mother's name and a pet nickname of the Queen. That was so rude and insensitive, especially since her husband had just passed. So they named their daughter Lilibet Diana, stole this private name from the Queen, and then of course tacked on Diana for good measure, because he's always got to bring out the Diana card. Lilibet Diana. And you know how Harry always claims that he had a very special relationship with the Queen, way closer than anyone else, and that she confided only in Harry because she couldn't confide in anyone else. That real special relationship that he made up in his head. Certainly couldn't go visit her when she asked him several times to come visit her, but yet they had this very super sweet, close, private relationship that he stole her nickname for his daughter. Talk about a jerk. So you're sitting here attacking the family, and then you steal private names for attention and bestow it on your daughter. If you don't know, Archie was the nickname of Prince George. They named their son Archie. They stole Prince George's nickname for their son, and then they took the Queen's nickname for their daughter. Seriously, who does that? Who steals nicknames from family members that they're not close to? It's weird, okay? They stole people's endearing names for their children. So George can no longer go by Archie because now their son is Archie. And of course the Queen, that was her private nickname, and they put it on their daughter permanently. Princess Lilibet and Diana, of course, the Diana card. It's just so sad how these two constantly hurt and manipulate their family for money and for publicity and for sympathy, and people don't understand how cruel that is. And now they say, well, we invited the royal family to our christening, but they didn't come. Well, why would they come? You've attacked them for 3 years, and then you throw out this fake little, oh, by the way, we're having a little barbecue, we're having a little christening, you want to come over here? No. No, they don't want to come over there because they don't trust you. It was a setup. And of course, they publicly had to put it out. I find the timing of this christening extremely telling, considering they just put out the story. They received a letter or an email from the office inviting them to the coronation. And then the next week, Princess Lilibet, because their grandfather of Lilibet is now the king, so she's the princess. Very weird timing how they never talked about Archie. I mean, he's been the king for 6 months, and now all of a sudden, when it's getting close to the coronation, they're invoking the title. They're laying some breadcrumbs of publicity. They're up to something. I'm actually surprised they didn't do this like the day before the coronation. So is this a way for them to grovel their way back to the royal family, to play nice, to kind of make amends with King Charles, because King Charles wants Harry to be there? Is this a way to play nice, a way to play ball? You know, I've always said you get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. So maybe Harry and Meghan are finally learning to play the game, that instead of attacking people, maybe be nice. And I think they had backed themselves into such a corner that now they have to do this. They got to play nice with the public and play up the royal card. Look, she's a princess now. Her grandfather's the king, and we're going to the coronation, and everything's nice, and here are all these photos of us and the king. I think they're definitely trying to save their reputation, and I will be very surprised if they do not go to the coronation. So that's all the royalty that I have for you guys today. What do you think of the announcement of Princess Lilibet Diana being christened and Harry and Meghan evoking the royal titles of their children? Do you think they're laying the groundwork for the coronation? Leave me your thoughts, guys, down below. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye, guys.